Welcome to the Woodshop at K-State's Art Department. Before using any tool, be sure to do the following. Go to the Woodshop Canvas page, download the liability waiver, read, sign, and submit it to the portal. Complete the Woodshop General Safety module by reading the emergency and general safety policies, review the Woodshop standard operating procedures, watch the associated video, and take the General Shop Safety Quiz. Once these are completed, review each module for the tools you wish to use. Watch the videos, review the manual, and take the quiz. You must wear eye protection when using any tools in the woodshop. You must wear ear protection when using any power tools in the woodshop. You must wear a dust mask when creating any dust. These are found next to the main entrance. The jig saw, or saber saw, is a handheld power tool meant for cutting woods and plastics and some metals. It has a blade that oscillates up and down and is good for cutting curved or straight lines. Different replaceable blades can be chosen for many applications, including rough cuts, fine cuts, upcutting, and downcutting, as well as bi-metal blades for cutting some forms of aluminum and mild steel. To install blades on a jigsaw, do the following. Make sure you are using the correct type of blade for the job you are doing. There are different kinds of blades, some for metal, some for wood, some that have a higher TPI, or teeth per inch, and some with a lower TPI. Some blades cut on the upcut, some blades cut on the downcut. Jigsaw blades come in two kinds of shank shape. One is called the U-shaped shank, found on the left. The other is the T-shaped shank, found on the right. Some jigsaw blades cut on the upcut. The teeth are pointed towards the top of the shank of the blade. You can see this on the top example. Some jigsaw blades cut on the down cut, and the teeth are pointed towards the tip of the blade. You can see this on the bottom example. When exchanging a blade that is bent or broken, place it in the sharps disposal that is found near the sink. De-energize the tool by unplugging it or removing its battery before changing blades. For newer model jigsaws like this Ryobi, flip the tool over, depress the clamping lever on the rapid change blade clamp until it stops. Holding the clamping lever down, insert the T-shank saw blade as far as possible into the slot of the jigsaw. This model jigsaw only takes T-shanked blades. Make sure the teeth of the blade are pointed forward and the back of the blade rests on the bearing. For older model jigsaws, back out the set screw with a screwdriver or Allen wrench. Set your U-shanked blade as far as it will go into the collar and tighten the set screw down onto the blade. Once the saw blade is installed securely, re-energize the saw. The saw has a variable speed trigger. The harder you pull on this trigger, the faster the blade will move. The softer you pull on the trigger, the slower the blade will move. This can increase and decrease the speed of the cut. There is a variable speed control selector on the bottom of the variable speed trigger. This will limit the amount of speed or power the trigger is allowed to put out. In the most positive position, the trigger is allowed to go from its slowest to its fastest, while in the negative position, it is limited to whatever speed you have selected. The button above the variable speed trigger is a lock. This will lock the trigger in the on position. To shut the trigger off, you can quickly pull the trigger and disengage the lock. For general purpose cutting, be sure to secure your workpiece with a vise or clamp to a stable, clean, well-lit work surface. Rest the front of the saw base on the workpiece and align the cutting edge of the blade to the line you are working on. Make sure the power cord is out of your way and not in the line of the cut. Make sure your hands and body are also out of the line of the cut. Be sure that you are not cutting towards yourself or others. Start your saw before engaging the teeth of the blade into the material. Then move the saw forward with the base of the saw securely flat on the work surface. Apply downward pressure to keep the saw steady and only enough forward pressure to keep the blade cutting. Do not force the saw. By applying too much forward pressure, your saw may overheat the motor and break saw blades. The blade of the saw cuts in an orbital motion. This feature is adjustable and provides faster or more efficient cutting. With the orbital motion, the blade cuts through your work in the upstroke, but does not drag across your work in the downstroke. The higher settings should be used when fast cutting in soft material is desired. The lower settings should be used when cutting materials with more resistance. The 0 setting shuts off the orbital motion. Setting 3 offers the maximum orbital motion. The jig saw's base should always be in contact with the surface of your work material. If you desire a beveled cut, you should tilt the base of the saw. You can do this by unlocking the base with the yellow lever, then tilting the base to the desired angle and locking the locking mechanism before attempting your cut. Make sure the base that is beveled is flat on the work material, and then begin your cut. The scroll cutting feature is designed to permit 360-degree rotation of the saw blade so that intricate designs may be cut with minimal effort. Set the orbit adjustment to 0. Loosen the base locking lever. Slide the base back to move the blade support roller out of the way of the saw blade. Retighten the base locking lever. Unlock the scrolling mechanism of your saw by sliding the scrolling knob lock, located on the front of the jigsaw to the right. Rotate the scrolling mechanism with your free hand as you apply pressure in the direction of the cut with your other hand. Note, the laser guide will not rotate with the scrolling mechanism. For most cuts, this scrolling mechanism should be set at 0 degrees facing forward. Your saw is equipped with a lock for locking the scrolling knob in the forward-facing position. This should be locked for all straight cuts. A straight cut can be made by clamping a piece of wood or straight edge to the workpiece and guiding the edge of the saw against it. Make the cut from one direction only. Don't cut halfway and complete the cut from the opposite end. Be sure to use all these standard operating procedures when operating the jigsaw.